Hi, welcome to another edition of the Weekly Brunch with the Loon. I am your girl, the Loon. Let me just see if I could change this. There we go. Here we go. Welcome, and it is another beautiful week. This is the week before Thanksgiving, and I'd like to welcome you. And we're going to talk about steps you could take on how you could grow. And what better way to try to put these things in effect than during your Thanksgiving dinner with your family. Here we go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let's get into the main topic here. Let's talk about what does it mean to grow. I had to write down this definition. So, focus on a combination of mindset shifts and practical habits such as adopting growth mindset, setting realistic goals, and getting out of your comfort zone. Now, a couple of Sundays ago, I think it was maybe in September or October, I did an episode on setting goals, uh, professional, spiritual, and I think also personal goals. So you could always go back and listen to those. But let's talk about the growth mindset because I did not touch that. Even though a lot of these talks that we have on a weekly basis helps us work on these aspects for a week time frame. Okay. Now, if you look at what is a growth mindset, it is the belief that intelligence, abilities, and talents can be developed through dedication, hard work, and a willingness to learn from mistakes and challenges. That is key. A willingness to learn from mistakes and challenges. And that is your mindset, is how you deal with those particular things, which are the hardest things to do. Challenges are a little bit easier, especially if it's professional challenges or a skill you want to learn. But it really comes into play when you're dealing with mistakes. Okay. Changing your mindset. Stop looking at a mistake or failure as an end of the world situation, which is what we tend to do when we hit those uncomfortable. That's what it is uncomfortable situations. Making a mistake or facing a challenge, we tend to stress out. And there's no, I mean, depending on how you work on stress, there's no real reason to stress out about it. It's actually better to change your mindset. It's not the end of the world, although it may feel like it. Instead, look at it as an opportunity to learn, no matter how devastating it may be, no matter how initially you think it's impossible to get over, you do. If you look at your past, there were situations at the moment you were dealing with it. It seems like you were never going to get past it. After you mourn and you went through your stages of grief for that particular situation, you did overcome it. Now, did you learn from it? Did you adjust your attitude, your mindset, and your actions should that arise again? Because just because it happened once doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. So, how you deal with it and how your mindset is with dealing with those situations is how you will progress. Now, how do you adopt a positive mindset? And that's the key. It's a positive mindset. When you are when you are faced with different challenges, it could go either way. Um, that's why it's important, and I probably will do something about boundaries. That's why it's important to set boundaries and respect the boundaries of others. Um, but your mindset has to be positive because the same way, if you try to move in a positive mindset, you could always let the situations go left. and put you in a more negative space, which is not the goal. We want to stay positive, and we want to stay positive for our own personal growth. Now, how you approach it does affect you health wise, but if you want to look at what we discussed I think last week about that, go ahead and check out thankfulness. But to cultivate a positive mindset, cultivate a growth mindset. How can I learn? These are questions you have to ask internally, or you could journal it. Increase your self awareness. Be aware of when you are shooting yourself in the foot, when you are becoming your worst enemy. Take a moment. It's okay to take a moment and say, I need 5 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm a smoker. So my time to gather myself in bad situations, like most smokers, is run out for a smoke. And that gives me the time to sit down and think. I get fresh air, as fresh as I could get while I'm puffing away. And I get to work out the different situations and see how I could better handle it per my attitude. Now, I'm not saying you should take up smoking. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying taking a moment to step away from the desk, maybe the room you're in, the house you're in, or the situation, just exiting just momentarily taking yourself away and just taking a deep breath and thinking it through and tell you, how could this benefit me? What's the benefits of this? How is my attitude and reaction to this going to affect me positively or negatively? And that does take a lot of practice to be self-aware, because we do like to ride down that river of denial and not face our challenges, our fears, and our mishaps. We are not perfect people. That's the one thing you have. Can you accept that? Can you accept the fact that we are not perfect and we do stumble? When an infant starts crawling and decides to stand up and take a walk, 9 times out of 10, the first thing they do is tumble right back on their tush. And we do that from that moment on. We do it at different stages of our life. And it's okay. But there's something that infant does that we tend to forget to do, which we have to remind ourselves to do, is they get back on the all fours and they push themselves back up and they try it again. They are determined to master that skill. Master your mindset and master your mind and keep pushing through. And then, one of the greatest ways, and this is something that has been really echoing through almost everything I've been recording lately, is practice gratitude. It is important to practice gratitude if you want to grow as a person. Now, let's spend the week thinking about and being aware of our mindset. Are we aware of our mindset? Are we aware that we're moving forward no matter if it seems like a challenge or a mistake? Are we pushing through? Are we being grateful for what we have learned throughout our years where we are at a present time? So this week, think about, what type of mindset am I dealing with this type of situation? What type of mindset am I waking up to? Am I waking up to, oh no, not another day at work? Or am I waking up to, okay, let's see what today's brings and what lessons I'm going to learn? It's all about your mindset. And on that note, I'd like to leave you with a little tidbit. I just saw on X, and this is from Grind Mindset, and it says, you can't stay the same and expect a different life. We are all aiming for a better and different life. But in order to get to that better and different life, we do have to grow mentally and change our mindset. I hope this week, as you go through the Thanksgiving preparations and you're preparing to go see family, friends, or both during this week, that you become a little bit aware of your mindset. And I hope after you wake up from the turkey coma, which you probably will have, just do a check, a mental check, and see, did I grow a little with this experience? And you may realize you did not just grow, but you may have helped somebody else grow that you least expected. Be safe this holiday season. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week.